Hi there. My name is Jason Nguyen, and I'm an assistant professor here at the Daniels faculty at the University of Toronto. I'm an architectural historian, so I suppose as a historian, I read quite a bit, and reading plays a pretty central role in my professional life. It's the summertime, so I'm trying to read still a lot about architecture, of course, but some things that fall a little outside my area of specialization or focus. One of those books that I've been reading this summer is this one here. It's called The Architecture of Disability by historian and theorist named David Gisson. It's a pretty remarkable book. It's really trying to think about questions of disability and impairment and asking us to question the way that we understand the built environment. It's not really directives on how to design necessarily, but really asking us or prompting us to think a little more critically about the built environment, both in terms of contemporary architecture, but also about architectural history, how we understand the architecture of the past, questions of preservation and monuments and so on. I read a lot more nonfiction than fiction, admittedly, something that's only gotten worse as I've gotten older. But I did pull one book actually of fiction that I also think is really important to me. It's a book I read a handful of years ago. It's this book here. It's called The Refugees by an author, a novelist named Nguyen. The same surname as mine, actually, but we're not related. It's a tale of, it's a group of short stories, actually, of refugee narratives, and really asks, for me, the questions about assimilation that I found really interesting and important. Not only assimilation for the immediate groups that immigrated, in this case, a lot of stories of Southeast Asia to North America, questions of assimilation, not only with that kind of first generation, but kind of generations cascading down. My father was a refugee, so it's quite important for me to think about. I must admit, I'm a bit old-fashioned when it comes to books. I really can't read things online, or I really dislike reading kind of like ebooks, I should say. I read a ton online, the news and so on. But I love to kind of have the kind of tactileness of actual pages. I tend to write a lot in the book. Sometimes it's on a Post-it note that I place in the book if I don't want to kind of write immediately on the page. So yeah, many of the books that I have are kind of like filled with Post-it notes. Usually because if it's something I really want to remember, super important to me, I want to kind of go back to it and kind of remind myself of what I found important about that kind of piece of writing. I certainly encourage everyone to read as much as possible. Architects or designers in the world have to understand the world, and how better can you understand the world but by, devouring the kind of literature or scholarship about it. At any rate, I wish you all a very happy summer, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.